yeah, boy. Say you need a little space, yeah, boy. Is it cause you can't be faithful, boy? Hope she's cool, unlike you. You ain't ready for a girlfriend, no. Cause you think I'll steal your weekends, no. So you make up shitty reasons for
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph. Today's video, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm doing an outdoor natural light photo shoot and we're shooting swimwear. But there are a few things I faced, because obviously sometimes you plan and things don't go according to plan, right? So let me just walk you through. So the initial plan was to shoot very early in the morning because of the location, and what I wanted to do was to use the rocks as our main backdrop. So we're not going to capture the sea, we're not necessarily going to show any water in the frame. Our main backdrop was to get like the sand and the rocks in the background, and then just shoot against that. But we didn't get there early enough, and at the time that we got there, the sun had already moved, and if I was going to use the rocks as my background, it meant that I will be backlighting the entire time. And I've said this before, that I feel, or any chance that I get to be able to use the sun to light my subject, especially my dark skin subject, I would always grab the opportunity. It's because the sun just looks good on dark skin. It just shines, it's really vibrant, and colors in general in your images are always very vibrant and rich and saturated, and I really love it. And so I decided right on the set that I was going to still maintain that principle where I'm going to use the sun as my light source to light my subject. And so that meant that we had to shift the idea and then rather introduce more of the sea as our backdrop. But the rocks were also positioned in such a way that you can still play with them, like just introduce them into your shots, but you're still going to capture the sea. So another issue is that at the time that we were shooting, the sun was directly above, so this meant that we'll be getting very defined dark shadows on our subject. And usually if you're going to light with that, if you have a diffuser, by all means use it, because it's very flattering. If you've seen my previous video where I showed you harsh light versus soft light, you notice that like diffusing the harsh natural light with the screen to get very soft light is really nice. It makes your subject more comfortable. The colors are very soft and still very nice. They have a little punch to it, but then there's also like just this dramatic feel that you get when you're shooting with harsh directional light, and that was the idea that we decided to go with. And so we went with this olive spray and then just spray some oil on her skin, just so it would add a bit more reflection, make her skin shine, and then just give her that dark melanin vibe. And so for most part, I would rather ask her to lift her chin so that we get very nice light on her face, and then we would rather introduce the contrast and the dynamics in the rest of the image. So in the outfit, the way her hair will cast a shadow on the body, the way her arm will cast shadow on the body, like just introducing those little elements just improve the dynamics in the image, plus adding the rocks and the sea and the nice blue skies that we got just elevated the images. So sometimes you may have a plan, but always embrace what you're given, because the sun is natural light. You can't reposition it like you can if you're using artificial light. So always embrace it and look for opportunities to create dynamic images with what you're given. Right now, the other problem that we were also facing was that the tides were high. It wasn't expected. I've shot here before, and the time that I did the shoot, it was also in the morning, and I think we've been shot through to the afternoon, and I know that the tides usually get high in the evening, and so the plan was to shoot early and then leave. But I don't know, for some reason that day the tides were very high and it was splashing, so that also gave me another idea to introduce it as another element in the frame. So there's another portion where I moved her to the rock that was closer to the sea, and also just waited for some of the splashes and captured them so that they also add another visual interest to the frame. So you also notice that when we actually moved her over there, we were getting like this very nice light on her because it was open and we had a little bit more direction in the sun, even though she still had to raise her chin to get flattering light on her face, and we're getting character on the body. The natural light that was hitting her was very rich, and I also had to shoot shallow. I was using my 50mm 1.4. I actually maintained the 50mm 1.4 throughout the entirety of the shoot because I wanted to challenge myself. I'm always gravitating towards my 24 to 70, and I feel like it's making me lazy because if I want to get a wide shot, I can just go wide, zoom wide. I don't have to move. If I want to get a tight shot, I can just zoom to 70 and get tight shots. But I wanted to be active. I wanted to feel more involved in the shoot. So keeping the 50mm just allowed me to move back and forth if I wanted to get tight shots or if I wanted to get wide shots. And so you see that I captured wide landscapes, portraits, and then I also did some details. But for the details, I wasn't really getting the frame that I wanted because the 50mm has its minimum distance that you'll be able to focus at. And because I have a high resolution camera, I knew that even if I shoot a little wider than I'd like, in post I can just crop down and then just get the actual frame that I was looking for. So again, these are just tools, these are just things that would help bring your vision to life. So my problem, the tide and the time of day that we shot, and the solution, simply embrace it and use your creative eye to find areas that would work. So those were pretty much all the things that happened on set. I hope you learned something, picked a few nuggets out of this video. And if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to make more videos like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. And remember, don't ever give up.